We've all seen this watch, and for as basic as this prolific Japanese diver is, it's honestly perhaps one of the most polarizing watches in all of horology. It seems no one's able to be on the fence about this piece. You know, misaligned chapter rings, a low-tech movement, and of course, the dreaded J versus K dilemma. This diver just cannot catch a break, so love it or hate it, when it comes to the Seiko SKX, there's one thing we can all agree upon. There is always room for improvement. It's 1:51 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alright guys, I am very excited about this episode because I get asked all the time about watch modding. Do I do it? Do I enjoy it? Do I have any watches that have been modified? And the answer is no. I don't really modify watches. I'm not really into that as far as doing it myself, and I've never owned any watches that have been modded. Of course, mod is short for modifying. And specifically, we're going to talk about the Seiko SKX because that seems to be one of the most modified platforms when it comes to horology ever. Chances are, if you don't like something about the Seiko SKX, you can find someone or something to change it for you. I've seen them being made into pilot's watches, into field watches, into vintage dive watches. I've seen them being made even into Rolex replicas, kind of wonky, bad-looking Rolex replicas, but yeah, some mods I see online I'm really repulsed by, and some I think are so dang cool. And special thanks to probably one of the best modifiers in the business, 4:44 p.m. my boy Nathan over there. I've been following him since pretty much, again, since I started here on YouTube and on Instagram. We followed each other, and I've always really enjoyed his work. And for my 31st birthday a week ago, he gave me this amazing Seiko 5KX here on the left. Now, it's not really a Seiko 5KX because there's pretty much nothing about it that is a Seiko 5KX aside from the dial. We're going to talk about everything that went into this watch here, but I really want to talk about how fun it is to kind of pick and choose what you want in regards to modding a watch. You can see this does not have a Seiko SKX bezel. You can see it doesn't have a Seiko SKX handset. It definitely doesn't have a Seiko SKX dial, and that's because, again, that is the 5KX dial. It doesn't have a Seiko SKX day date. That's because we chose a kanji day, and then I guess actually the normal date. But everything about this watch is very different, and you're able to make these things your own. Also, if there's something you really don't like in regards to the function of the Seiko SKX, you can change that too. Number one complaint I get about the SKX is that it's outdated, it's old, the movement is bad, there's no hacking or hand wind, and it doesn't even use sapphire. Well, this watch does. That's right. It has a double-domed sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating. We chose blue because blue anti-reflective coating is my favorite. I really like how it kind of glistens in the light there. You can kind of catch it a little bit over on the edge here. A little nice blue tone. And then, yeah, this watch has a NH36A automatic movement with hacking and hand wind. So you can see the second hands are pretty much synced up there between the SKX 007 and this 5KX. Yeah, the cool thing about getting my watch modded is that this solved the issue that I had with the 5KX. 5KX had a 100 meter water resistance rating and no threaded crown. Well, guess what? This has a 200 meter water resistance rating with a threaded crown, and the crown has another little impressive feature I want to share with you guys. So, no hard feelings. Seiko SKX 007, we're going to move you out of the way, but I kind of want to talk about the watch 4:44 p.m. Made for me, custom, an amazing birthday gift, and right up my alley. Pretty much everything about this watch is exactly how I like it, and again, that's one of the benefits of getting a watch modded. So let's talk about this watch's features. Okay, so as we get a little closer to this watch, my brand new modded Seiko 5KX, SKX, what do we want to call it? Well, 444 PM actually handled that for me because they've titled this build the T3 Timinator. So they don't even want to call it a 5KX because, again, pretty much the only thing that screams Seiko 5KX is that dial. So let's start with the case. Okay, the case is the 444 stainless steel SKX style 200-meter diver case with a brushed and polished finish. So as you can see here on the face of the lugs, it is brushed, but on the side of the case, you can see that mirrored finish. The movement is, as I said, a Seiko NH36A regulated automatic movement, hacking and hand wind, black, white, English kanji day date wheel. The dial is again the OEM Seiko 5KX SRPD65 dial in that really nice kind of matte black finish, just pristinely done. The hands are kind of a mix of OEM Seiko and aftermarket. So there's an A-Juice T62H S01 62M hour and minute hand, but it has an OEM Seiko 5 SNZ F17 second hand. The chapter ring is also OEM. It's the 5KX SRPD65 black with silver minute markers. The crystal is probably one of my favorite parts when it comes to this watch. And as I said earlier, it's sapphire, but it's a DLW SKX 007 sapphire. It's double domed with no beveled edge. And again, that blue anti-reflective coating, you can kind of see it just glistening a little bit here. And he wanted it, Nathan, who's in charge over at 444 PM, he wanted the crystal to kind of just sit very flush with the bezel, and that's one of my favorite attributes of the Seiko Tuna, and kind of carries on over with this watch because, again, there's no real space in between that awesome double domed sapphire. It just kind of flows into that bezel. Let's see, speaking of the bezel, it's a DLW SKX 007 LX brushed steel. The insert is a DLW ceramic SKX 007 sub brushed stealth insert. The case back we're going to talk about, it is custom engraved. Oh man, we're getting towards my favorite part about this watch real quick. It's engraved 444 PM custom Seiko mod. Very cool, just letting people know who did the work. But easily my favorite part about this watch, as we get up in focus here, the crown is engraved T3. How cool is that? And then it wouldn't be a T3 diver without probably the most important attribute, honestly, aside from it having my name there. Yeah, that's right, threading. This is a threaded crown, 200-meter water resistance rating. This is a watch I actually would feel confident getting wet. Okay, so this isn't one of those dive-inspired watches, that stupid 5KX. No, this is the real deal, very cool, and again, this showcases just how much fun and just how deep, no pun intended, you can go when it comes to getting your watch modified by someone who actually knows what they're doing. Now, when the watch was given to me and I unboxed it for my viewers during one of our Saturday live streams, it was given to me wearing the strap code 22mm Hexad stainless steel bracelet, but I chose to put it on my kind of vintage surplus military Zulu strap. But that's because, I don't know, it just felt more comfortable to wear. It's getting really hot outside right now, so wearing a single piece strap, just more comfortable on my wrists. But this is a beast of a bracelet, very nice, and it worked very well with this mod. But again, I don't know, I'm just very partial to NATOs and Zulu straps. Yeah. Just my cup of tea. So as we place these two watches next to each other once again, we can absolutely see there's a big difference between your classic Seiko SKX 007 and a modified Seiko 5KX SKX. We'll just call it a T3 Timinator. And guys, because this watch uses 444's stainless steel 200-meter diving case, the size is actually a little bit different when you compare it to your run-of-the-mill Seiko SKX diver. So here are the specs when it comes to your SKX 007 just off the shelf. It is 41.9 by 45.8 and it's 13.4 millimeters thick. You'll notice this T3 Timinator with its 444 case, it's a little bit different when it comes to the dimensions. 42.7 by 45 and 15.8 millimeters thick. So honestly, the biggest difference when we're looking at those metrics would be the case thickness. Honestly though, when you're wearing it on your wrist, I can tell you right now, there's not a huge difference as far as it feeling, any more cumbersome or clunky. No, it feels exactly like an SKX. So truth be told, I'm never going to dislike the Seiko SKX because that was the watch that really kicked off my love for collecting. It was the gateway drug that got many of us into watch collecting, so that will always hold a special place in my heart. But am I just ecstatic that I finally have a modded Seiko in my collection? Absolutely, and this has really, really opened my eyes to just how far you can go when it comes to making a watch your own. I really love the aggressive bezel. The serrations there looks really amazing. I love that matte dial and how it plays with that bezel insert. It looks so tough and rugged. And the little details like brushed case lugs, but then polished sides, and who could ever forget drilled lugs? Guys, this makes changing straps or bracelets a breeze. And the fact that this watch literally has my name on it, I mean, come on, what's better than that? But yeah, 4:44 p.m. I know that they got a bunch of inquiries about this build when I showcased it during my live stream. A bunch of my viewers wrote to him asking if he could sell them a T3 Timinator, and if you contact him on Instagram or via email, he'll go over, all the pricing and everything in regards to having one of these built for you, the T3 Timinator. If you write him and you ask for a T3 Timinator, he'll obviously know exactly what you're talking about. But tell him that I sent you, and I'm sure he will hook you up and he'll do some amazing work. But there's so much about this watch that is just very, very unique. And again, it's not something you can just pick up off the shelf when it comes to ordering a watch like from Seiko or on Amazon. It's very, very fun picking out different pieces and having someone very knowledgeable putting it together. I know a lot of you guys out there love tinkering on watches, love playing with these things and putting them together, taking them apart, putting them back together. So modding a watch really might be up your alley just to do it yourself. But if you want someone that knows what they're doing, I personally trust Nathan over at 4:44 p.m. Again, tell him I sent you and tell him you want a T3 Timinator. But yeah, guys, I don't need to spend too much more time showing you my birthday present because honestly, this might not be your cup of tea. The look of this watch might not be up your alley, but again, that's one of the benefits of modding watches. There are millions, bajillions, infinite combinations when it comes to putting a watch together the way you like it. So you don't like this dial, you don't like the handset, you don't like the bezel or bezel insert, the day-date wheel, you can change those things. So yeah, this is my cup of tea. Obviously, this is my watch. This is how I like it. I like kind of the subdued, tough look. You might want something a little bit more loud with a crazy handset with some weird design on the dial. You can go even more nuts with engraving. But yeah, that's your prerogative, and believe me, you can do that. But whether it's modified or you're just keeping it old school, I don't think you can go wrong with the Seiko SKX platform. But let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Do you like this mod? Do you own a modded watch? Do you do modifications yourself? Again, leave me a comment and I'd love to hear from you and we can interact in the comment section. Again, special thanks to Nathan at 4:44 p.m. for making me an amazing birthday present, my first modded Seiko, really my first modded watch. But yeah, amazing. His information information will be in the description below. But please, guys, support the channel. Click the affiliate links. We have a bunch of really cool watch-related gear, watch winders, watch toolkits, everything the watch collector needs. Check out my personal website, www.thetimetellershop.com. That's the #1 place to find affordable vintage luxury watches serviced with a 1-year warranty, hand-picked by me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of the content we're putting out here. Become a certified T3 bot. Join the channel. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.